So hi, everyone. I love DLD. I use Steffi and Yossi's name like a verb wherever I go because they're just so amazing. They're like the Blues Brothers, but different. That's an American thing. So I have an idea that I think DLD could be an X factor too, that DLD, it could help harness, create a network effect around the amazing DLD community. And let me give a little bit of context. So I have four items up on the stage right now. So this one is a bridge. In 1793, which was pretty early in the US, this bridge was built. And the brain trust at Harvard was really threatened by this bridge. The bridge connected Boston and Cambridge. And if you look at the font, you can see why they were threatened by it that I wrote here. If you read that, you should be laughing. So Harvard said, we don't want to have a bridge at that point. And I think at this time, at this moment, we need bridges more than ever. Who's with me on that? Okay. So now let me introduce you to William. William lived in Virginia. He had gone to William and Mary. He didn't graduate. He was teaching at UVA, natural sciences, and he had a side hustle. He was surveying, and the state of Virginia, this is before West Virginia broke off, it was a big state, wanted a survey of the state because it was the Industrial Revolution, and they wanted to build trains, they wanted to build sanitation, they wanted to build factories, and you can't do that unless you survey the land. And William walked all over creation trying to find qualified people to help him survey, and he couldn't find them. He was beside himself. So he picked up and left Virginia, and he came to Boston, because Boston was incredibly active in the 1860s during the Industrial Revolution. And he founded an institute, and that's MIT. William Barton Rogers founded an institute to react to the moment. In the first 75 years of MIT, it was having people just be skilled engineers. And he wanted to work with industry. He wanted to do hands-on learning and be practical. The next 75 years, research got involved, and you see MIT today. And when MIT built this big building in 1913, it's actually 22 buildings, and a lot of the different disciplines would bump and connect to one another. They would bridge, as opposed to having biology and material science in different places where there's no connecting. So William Barton Rogers, surveyor, founded MIT, and today, who's heard of MIT? It's like the tomb of America. Yeah, that's a German thing. Yeah. So in 2020, I realized the United States was going to cross a milestone next year. Now, this year isn't a big deal, but for us, it's kind of big. 250 years. Is Germany older than 250 years? Yeah, okay. But I realized that I could vaguely remember when the United States turned 200, and everyone was talking about it. But today, people aren't talking about this milestone. And I think part of it is sesquicentennial, or whatever you call it is a hard word and it doesn't roll off the tongue. But I think the other reason is there's so many challenges right now that people aren't looking into the future. And I think we need to plan for the future. And I find a lot of my European friends are very good at thinking about the moment and projecting into the future. So what I came up with was an intervention, a platform that could help think about the future. Who thinks this is a good idea? Okay. So I'm going to tell you four aspects of this, and then I'm going to explain how DLD can get involved. One aspect is sensing and curation. So this is a matrix, garbage in, garbage out. I don't know if they have that term here, but I want to curate some of the most impactful ideas that can scale by the end of the decade around sustainability, around climate, around dealing with biodiversity, toxicity, and there are a ton of ideas that are just a rounding error, that aren't going to have impact. There are a ton of ideas that will have impact, but maybe not for 200 years. I want to focus on ideas that kind of impact. And I want to find people that have these ideas. Some of them may be ideas that are talking about. Some of them may be crazy ideas that no one's talking about that we need to be thinking about. So I have a matrix to do that. Nature systems, human systems, social systems, and the chief futurist at BCG, a consulting firm, has been helping me with that. Then I want to create events where I kind of crowdsource ideas. This was an event on biodiversity. That's George Church. He's quite an interesting guy. He's trying to bring back the woolly mammoth. He helped decipher the human genome in 2001 in February. I had him give a talk in the tapir exhibit. I moved the tapirs out. I moved them back afterwards. They're fine. And he and 30 other people talked about biodiversity, and I simulcasted in the gorilla exhibit. So if you didn't want to watch him, you could go to the gorilla exhibit. There are 8 gorillas, and watch them listen. So I raised awareness on that topic by doing this event, kind of like DLD does events. This is another event I did on oceans. I think, who's heard of the oceans? Yeah, they could play a big role on sustainability. So this is a heat map of the United States where R1 universities are. So what I want to do is use MIT in Q4 around the Veterans Day holiday, kind of like the Oscars have a week. I want to take a week and bring people together, and I want to go to all the R1 universities in the United States. These are major research universities, and say, hey, come pitch us ideas. It could be an undergrad, could be a tenured faculty, could be staff, could be alumni. And I want to go to the R1 type universities around the world and have them come and pitch. So that's one of 4 things I want to do. Second thing is I want to create media. So for all these people who have ideas, I want to have them give short form video, technical video, TED Talks, and I want to go to all the media outlets and say, come here and document what's being said. And the people who are presenting, I'm coaching them to spend 5% on how bad things are. A lot of people are talking about the challenges around climate, but they're talking about how the sky is falling and they're not focusing enough on the solution. I want this platform to be solution-oriented. And I have an Oscar. I give a planet. I have an astronaut's husband is a glassblower, and I commissioned him to make our Oscar. And so this is one of our many speakers that we gave a planet to. She's using LiDAR, forest fires. She has the number 2 at Netflix and the chief technology officer at Lyft. And so she presented these different videos. So she went to different rooms and we captured it. We also had a Annie Leibovitz type photographer take photos of all the speakers. And I have a company that has 180,000 billboards around the United States, and they in-kinded me $20 million of geolocated billboard spaces where the ideas we curate, we can put all over. So what I want to do is, right now, media, I don't know if you know, but the business model doesn't totally work. Who got the memo on that? Yeah, I want to go to media and say, come here. So instead of doing a media tour around the world, have media come here and capture all this stuff. So that's my second idea. The third idea is I want to activate and engage by having kind of like a destination wedding. The first event is at MIT. This is CSAIL, the Computer Science Artificial Intelligence Lab, the largest lab at MIT, 1,800 people. It's in the Gehry building. It looks like a crumpled up napkin. It used to leak like a sieve. It doesn't do that anymore. So that's the big event in November. And while that's happening, this is the first Oval Office before they built it at the White House. This is a building where they announced the first subway. I want to bring the speakers together with people who can scale these ideas. And then, kind of like Y Combinator, every year I want the people who present these ideas to give updates in this big aquarium theater. And then the best of November, Q4, I want to take on the road in January, and I want to bring to DLD, and then I want to bring to Davos. This is a 56,000 square foot dome. I'm not sure how that is in meters, but I want to be on a world stage where we're getting these ideas. Then my last aspect of this is I want to get networks of networks to come and help scale these ideas. This is just one. The DLD network is another one. This is a number of organizers from around the world that I had come in. I gave them a red sweatshirt. I said it was like the Green Lantern ring. It would empower them. I want to get networks of ultra-high net worth families. I want to get venture capitalists. I want to get government leaders. I want to get PE firms to come and basically go shopping and interact with these people who have these ideas and figure out, do they want to do investment? Do they want to do philanthropy? Do they want to help with product, with market fit, policy, and be really focused on action? So the last event we did, we've done it three Novembers now. These were some of the outcomes. We created a report, and all the videos, we have 8 digital assets, we're hanging off of each of the ideas, are here, and we think we're better than anything that's out there, and we want to crowdsource and get this to the right people. So what I just presented, it's part MacArthur Genius Fellowship. We're going to find people and give them that planet and say, we want to build a relationship with you, not based on what you've done, but what we think you can do in the future. It's part Oscars. The planet is kind of like the Oscars. You know, right now Hollywood shuts down for a week and celebrates movies. Movies are great, but Gen Z, Gen Alpha, the future generations are going to demand that we have solutions. It's part Y Combinator, and it's part Allen and Company. I don't know if people know Vanity Fair. You open it up, you see all the media moguls that go to Idaho. I want to do that for climate. I'm calling this Planet Action Plus. Notice I don't have the word climate in here, even though this is all about climate, but climate's such a loaded word in America, and some people hear one thing, other people, you know, can't get their head around it. But this is a Planet Action platform. So at the end of the day, I want this to be a 365-day platform that people can go and see the status of a few ideas that we got to raise awareness of. And I'm not convinced government, universities, and corporates can synergize over the next few years to really develop solutions that can help avoid an existential threat to our species. So this is my last slide. Our mission is to ensure the best ideas of Planet Action reach those with power, resources, and talent to achieve them. I can't think of a more special network than the DLD. And I want DLD to be involved in this and contribute ideas, help amplify ideas, help be a sparring partner. Who thinks this is a good leverage of the awesomeness of DLD? Okay, so, you know, if Steffi or Yossi are in the room, and I said I use them like a verb, I want to help harness the best of DLD, and I want to help bring these ideas to DLD and do something that changes the vector of our society and help us reach our potential. And I'm a techno-optimist, but I think there's a lot to not be optimistic about right now. So this platform is one way that can help us all sleep at night and be hopeful about the future. Thank you very much.